All right, let's open it up.
What's up, Scott? Right over here. I don't have a question. I just want to tell you, look fly as all heck in that leather jacket, man.
It feels good to just come here and relax and watch a great show and just be a fan for the night. So it felt good to just casual.
Scott, congratulations on another great event, man. What were your thoughts overall?
I'll tell you, it's I think it was a great show, and I think that you got the big knockout at the end. And man, he's so dangerous. It's scary because one punch could change the whole outcome of the fight. And then the girls' fight was amazing. It was unbelievable. I think you got a chance to see a lot of the up and coming fighters that have a chance to work their way up and test themselves. And some it worked out, for some it didn't. And some fighters have to go back to the drawing board. But even the fighters, some of them that need to go back to the drawing board, I have a lot of high hopes for them. And hopefully they'll go back in the gym and get cracking, and we'll get them back in here as soon as we can.
How cool is it to see Daniel James? He fought Bellator many years ago, didn't make it, went on the regional scene, fought his way back, has 2 big knockouts. You guys do have a fight coming up in Chicago. Is that like where you put him in Chicago, or or is he right there for a title shot?
I tell you, the title shot is most likely going to go to Linton Vassell because he's been, on a tear too. But I think he's right up there. We definitely will invite him to come fight in Chicago. But I didn't know if he was going to get hurt or injured, or sometimes, it's better just to wait to see what happens. But I reached out to our fight team. I said, look, please invite him to come fight. If he wants to do it, we'd love to have him. I think Chicago is an unbelievable fight card, stacked top to bottom already, but putting him in the mix just makes a lot of sense because he is from Chicago and he's been on a tear, doing his thing. And this is just another statement win for his resume. And let's keep this kid busy.
Is it inspiring just to see him? Like, just his journey. Like it's been pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you got to see the piece that was created. The feature piece was pretty amazing. I really enjoyed watching it, and it's like it's like a human interest piece of overcoming and constantly overcoming, and it just shows like, hey, keep your mind focused, keep your goals in front of you, and keep your target in sight, and you'll have something to just keep working for. And that's what he's been doing. I mean, he's been at this a very long time, and like you said, he's now just reemerging, and it's a new to me, it's a new fighter, and let's see how far he can take it. I mean, he definitely, if he keeps winning, he's going to get a shot. He's if he wants to wait, that's fine, but if he wins another fight, he's definitely going to be right in that mix too.
I think one of the bigger storylines as well is a bunch of prospects got their first loss tonight. Lance Gibson, Sullivan Colley. What were your thoughts on that? And was it kind of surprising?
I mean, Lance, that was a big step up for Lance, and it's good to test yourself to see where you're at. That doesn't mean he's not a great fighter and still not a great blue chip prospect. It just happens that he lost tonight, and that's just how it is. I mean, MMA is a very, very, it's a very, very tricky sport, and you have to be, on it at all times. And one wrong move, and it's over, right? So that's the beauty of MMA. That's why we love it. It's fast, it's explosive, it's raw, and it's real. So he'll go back to the drawing board, get to look at his fight, test him, and see what he needs to work on, and then go back and work on your craft.
Hi, Scott. I'm wondering if you could clear up some talk pre this co-main event. Kat had come out and said that she was told that she was going to be fighting for a vacant title, and then there wasn't going to be a title shot. Can you talk to me a little bit about, is she correct, or what happened going into?
Yeah, listen, I'm not sure what Kat heard because I never talked to her directly, but I can tell you this from the company standpoint, this was always a 3-round elimination fight for the #1 contender spot. Cris Cyborg is still the current champion. We still have her under contract right now. We have her under a matching rights provision. We are negotiating with her, and we expected her to bring her back here, at some point this year. So to me, that now it's going to be a great fight. Hopefully, we'll put this together with Cris in the next couple of weeks, and her and Kat, and we could work on a big fight for the two of them to fight for Chris's belt. So somewhere along the line between my fight team and Ed Suarez and Dialogue, I told them, I said, I don't know where this got lost, but from our perspective, it's always been a 3-round elimination fight.
Do you think it's possible that she, I don't want to say made it up, but was kind of putting that out into the universe, hoping that could potentially be what happened?
I have no idea. I like I said, I haven't talked to her, but if it was a title fight, a 5-round championship fight, I think I definitely would have known about it. So, there was never any dialogue inside the company for that to happen.
And I know you mentioned Cyborg. It sounds like you want to put her with Kat, but you are still negotiating with her. I'm wondering if there's any negotiations going on with Kayla Harrison. We noticed that she's not in the PFL tournament this season. Has there been any talk about that fight, maybe possibly coming to Bellator?
Kayla is still in the contract with another company, so I can't speak to that. But our intentions are to bring Cris back here. We've had a great relationship for a long time, and she still is an amazing talent, and she's our champion right now. So it's just a matter of working out the details. Sometimes these things take time because you're talking about a lot of details, right? So I feel we're in a good place to put this together.
And then my last question, you touched on the Chicago card. I'm wondering if you could talk to me about Patricio and how that third title idea came about, and when did that idea first start? Well,
I'll tell you, this was probably about 6 months ago. He came to us and said, look, I want to eventually go down to 35. And, I want to wait. I'll wait to fight AJ at 45 if AJ wants to stay at 45. And I really want that fight. So he really wants to fight AJ at some point. But AJ chose to fight in the 55-pound tournament. So he knew that fight was off. And then he said, okay, well, then I want to move down to 35. And I want to be the first champion to win the 55-pound, the 45, and the 35. So he chose to move down in weight, and we knew Pettis was coming off that injury, and he's still our current champion. And to me, it's a great thing because Stotts and Mix will have that fight in Hawaii in 3 weeks actually, and then we have the fight in June, and by October or November we'll have another fight between the two of them. So it'll be just an amazing 135-pound weight class, almost like a mini runoff on its own. So really excited because all 4 of those fighters are super talented. But Pitbull is a guy, being I think the face of the company, being here so long and being so dominant. I think he deserves to have this shot. And he wasn't, he's already been waiting since December 31st, right? He fought in Japan for us. So he wanted this to be his next fight, and we didn't want to make him wait till the end of the year or so we said, look, we can fit this in, and when we have time, we'll put the other fights together for the finals of Stotts Mix. We'll fight the winner of Pitbull versus Pettis. So that's we thought that was just a great way to run up that division. So we're excited. I'm excited. That's going to be a great fight. And Chicago is an unbelievable fight card. I mean, it's really stacked from top to bottom. And I think that you guys probably noticed, when we do the fights on Showtime or CBS, we're not just going to bring one main event. We're bringing 3, maybe 4 fights that could be big fights on its own. And it's been a lot of fun to put these fights together and watch these fighters grow.
Scott right here. So speaking of the CBS card, you started off the year on fire on CBS. Now you got this card in Hawaii, and now the stack card in Chicago. How do your team go about putting these fights together and putting all this craziness, and managing it?
I'll tell you, honestly, it's when I look back at the power of this roster, it's unbelievable how much firepower we have. And it has been so fun to sit down with the fight team and just dabble as to what about this fight and what about that fight? And what happens if this person wins? It's really one of the reasons I got into the fight promotion business, to see, well, what about this person fighting that person? So it's been fun doing that. And with a roster this deep, if you look at our 145, our 155, look at our 170, the best 170 pounder in the world, the best 185 pounder in the world. Pitbull arguably is best 145 pounder right now. I'd love to see that fight happen, right? And then we have Johnny Eblen at 185. You guys have seen the heat on him lately. Even, people from all different companies are saying how great this kid is. and then the 205 Nemkov. I don't think there's any fighter at 205 that can beat Nemkov. So we have just an amazing fight roster, and that's what it starts with, is the talent base. And it wasn't really just the fight on CBS. To me, it was the fight in Dublin. When we broke our attendance record in Dublin, we had such a great event over there. And then it led to the Tokyo event, which was unbelievable. It was really Japanese MMA has made a comeback, and I feel like it's kind of, because I was around in the Pride days working for K1, and I got to go to those fights. I got to see the swell of excitement and enthusiasm from the Japanese fans when Pride was in its heyday, and they had the best fighters in the world at that time. Honestly, that bar none, they were the king, and the Japanese fans really engaged, and I could feel that energy coming back now. So to be a part of that on New Year's Eve with Sakibara, whether win or lose, there was some great matchups, and I felt that was another grand slam for us. And then going right into the CBS card, and then we had the fight in Ireland, and then we had the fight in San Jose. San Jose was unbelievable. And then, now we go to Hawaii, we finish the tournament, go to Chicago. It's just like reloading and reloading and reloading. I mean, it really comes down to, the fight roster makes all these fights possible. And, we spent the last 6-8 years really building this talent.
Right back here. How's it going, Scott? MMA Locker Room, part of Pub Sports Radio. Just want to say, hey, you did it again, man. You put on another star-studded event. But out of all the fighters on the card, what's one of the fighters that stood out to you tonight?
That's a tough one, because there's a lot of really good fights tonight. Right? And I honestly was really impressed with the Kazangano fight. And I had a lot of great transitions back and forth. And I didn't know who was going to win. I thought it was going to be a great fight, but it turned out to be an amazing fight. And I wouldn't even mind running that back at some point, right? Come on, that was just fun to watch. So to me, the great knockout at the end, that was amazing. But to me, that fight was, the fight that really caught my eye was how much resilience these ladies had, and they had such a great fight, and it was a great MMA fight, mixed martial arts fight. So I enjoyed it.
And then just to speak on the talent that you got, a lot of underdogs came out and won today. So it just shows that the talent here at Bellator is here to stay, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, in a fight, anything can happen, right? And it's no knock on the loser. And that's why these guys go in the cage. They want to test themselves, and they want to move forward in the rankings, and they want to eventually get to the title fight. And it's our job to get them in that position. It just happens right now, from top to bottom, from 135 all the way up to our heavyweight division. It's a great time to be in the Bellator business.
Hey, Scott, congrats on another great event this evening. I think in my eyes, it was one of the first in MMA history, just being a part of the sport. We saw a marriage proposal inside the octagon after one of those fights when Luke Trainer proposed to his fiance. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts for that, because I know to a lot of us, that was a first.
You know what, I'll tell you, I actually didn't see that proposal, so I'll have to catch it. But we had another proposal at the Mohegan Sun during the COVID time when we were kind of locked down. And it was one of our COVID staff members that proposed to his wife. And so this is number 2. And I heard there's gonna be a number 3 here really soon. So, we'll give you guys a little bit of heads up on that one next time.
Well, thank you, Scott. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys.